All right, let's get this party started. Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good night to everyone here. Hello, as you come in, come file in, come on in. The water is fine. Hello, good morning to you all. My name is Charlie. I am the head tinkerer here at Momentus. I am so excited to introduce you to part 2 of the Knit-witting class with Samantha Smith. Almost exactly 2 months ago, we did our first Momentus event with Sam, and many of you were here for that first event that I helped put on. Sam is the coolest human being. We're bringing our front row in now. So front row, just accept those panelist invites. And I just cannot thank you enough for joining this adventure with us. You're here for Sam, so I'm going to try to shut up as quickly as possible. But I'm just so excited for today and what the future holds for us. You will all be getting a cute little charm because you survived, took this class. So you will be getting that charm if you haven't already. And it's very cute and very adorable. And I can't wait for you to get them. So we're getting our front row together here. Hello, Heather, Karen, Tina, Ray. Hi, everybody. Hi. Yep, we're pulling everybody in here now, which is great. So accept those panelist invites so that you can come on in. And remember, you can watch this class after the fact. So part 1 is available on YouTube now. This one will be available next week. Should you want to practice and continue your practice. Sam will be teaching us some fun stuff. We'll get into that in a moment. Before we move on, we've been having people buy tickets for others. We're not set up for it, but we're doing it anyway. So people are buying tickets, or they bought the bundle, the knitting bundle, and they said, you know what, I want to donate my extra ticket, which is great. So thank you for that. I checked my speakers, but can you increase your volume, please? Maybe I'm not light here. So what I'm thinking is we should, someone has lovingly donated a meet and greet in front row. So we're just going to randomly upgrade someone today here now. So let's see if they're here, shall we? We have to make sure this person, okay, we drew a random number and then went through the roll call and just saw, you know, number 8,952,000. Let's see who if they're here today. No, okay, all right, we're going to pick another one. That person is not here, unfortunately. Person who shall not be named. I'm so sorry. You are not the next American Top Idol voice. So we're going to randomly select someone now. So moderator, if you want to just grab somebody at random and just let me know the name of the person so I can announce them as well.
Will do.
Okay. Well, there's a lot of tomfoolery happening today, as we had last time. So I'm going to bring Sam in. Sam, you may know as Mary Winchester on Supernatural, the OG flannel wearing mom. She has been knitting since the age of 9, taught by her grandmother. It's a beautiful story and such a lovely generational thing to pass down. I will ask, because I'm noticing it now, I'm speaking very fast and maybe in a rambling way. If we call on you in the front row, or during if we call on you in the front row, if you could speak clearly and slowly. Tanisa is with us here today. Thank you, Tanisa. And we want to make sure that we are thinking in coherent thoughts and speaking in a clear and enunciated way. All right, Benjamina Balmer, you have been upgraded. We are pulling you in now. So accept that panelist invite as well. Yay. Hi, Mo. Hi, Molly. Hi, Cheryl. Hello, Erica. All right, we're going to pull Sam in here now. Let's get this party started. Good morning, Sam. You're still muted, which I appreciate. I think you need that the ASL class that we're teaching next month.
I did it.
Yay. Hi.
It's always something.
It's always something. How are you?
Hey, buddy. Hi. Nice to see everyone.
Yeah, look at our front row. Everybody.
super, super schmancy.
Hi, Erica. Hi, Susan. So what are we going to learn today, Sam?
So we're going to do a quick refresh on the actual knit stitch. And then we're going to move on to purling, which is basically backwards knitting.
Backwards knitting.
Mhm.
The moonwalking of knitting. Great. This is great.
Correct. I mean, the truth in knitting, there are really 2 stitches. Actually, there's 1 stitch. There's a knit stitch. You do it front or back, and then everything else you do, whether it's bobble stitches or cables or anything, it's just a combination of those 2. And counting, there's so much counting.
Got it.
Like math.
Oh, wait, there was math on this test? Okay, I'll just try to get myself ready for this. Front row, are you ready for math? Karen, Tracy, Michelle, Lori, hi.
I see Kelly Asheville, you're just knitting away. Cheryl, you're knitting away. Who else is knitting away? Over here, Karen and Heather Miller. You got, oh, Molly. You guys are just busy, busy, busy. Let me see what you got. Hold it up. Very nice, Karen. Very nice,
Yeah,
Heather. Molly, very good.
Yep.
Ray's not showing me what she's doing. Maureen is giving the college stride.
Just, yeah.
Whoa.
And
Karen,
now our front row is a reason to call people out. That's great. I'm so glad we're using that for good and not evil.
oh, Tina, like the stripes. Very, very good. Very good.
Jenny, yep. So Benjamina does not have her camera set up. So why don't we grab one more person? We're just going to randomly grab you. If you get an invite from us, you're coming in. So just deal with it. And it's okay to not be. You can save the camera portion for the meet and greet after. All right. I'm gonna let you, Sam, get started. And then duck out here so that you can get going with Tanisa here.
Okay, hold on. I'm just gonna I'm doing, there we go. All right. I was doing some technical stuff.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, how about it?
All right. So a show of hands, is there anyone here who does not know how to knit at all? Okay. So do you have needles and yarn? I see Maureen has needles. You guys have you cast on? Are there stitches on the needle? Okay. All right, Susan, Erica. All right. So basically we're going to do a simple cast on here. You are going to make a little slip knot like this, like just a little, like tie one of these type deals. You know what I mean? Just loop it around and make a little slip knot and make it just the size of your needle. But don't ever pull anything tight. Just pull it gently snug, but don't ever pull it tight because you'll never get the other needle in there. Now, once you have one little loop on your needle, Erica, Maureen, and was there somebody at Susan? You guys have yarn on your needles? So it's gonna look like this. Just have the little slip knot on there and you're gonna pull it gently snug. Now you're going to you're just gonna, for the sake of practice right now, you're just going to twist the yarn and put the loop on there gently. Oops, it's not sliding. So just make it a twisted loop and slide it on there. Twisted loop and slide it on there. It's not really casting on, but I think I thoroughly covered casting on in the last one. Everyone had a meltdown. So we're just gonna do this for now. You got that? Raise your hand if you do not have it.
And don't forget, you can use the raised hand feature in your reactions here on Zoom. So you tap reactions and you can hit that raise hand button.
Okay. All right, so I would put on at least 20 loops. Okay, we're just going to give them a second to do that. And then we're going to, quick, I have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 stitches on here to review knitting, the knit stitch. Now, for you guys who are new, you can start with a purl stitch. That's okay. And then you can go back and watch the knitting stitch one after. There's no reason you have to learn in order. I like anarchy knitting, so we'll just Be free. It's okay, Charlie. Anarchy knitting is it's not dangerous. Okay. Maureen, do we have stitches on the needle? Rock on. Erica, stitches on the needle. Are we at, do we have 20? No, you only have a few. Nice job, Susan. Very good. Everyone else? Ray, I see you very diligently getting those on there. Lori, do you have, are you doing okay? Yep. She's like, don't interrupt me. I'm concentrating. Molly, we good? All right. Heather, are you just knitting there out of screen? Yes, you are. Okay. So I'm going to do my fancy turnaround. This is what it's going to look like. Now remember, for the knit, you go from the from the left to the right in the front of the loop. Can we see? Yes. You wrap the yarn around and bring it back through. Now, again, if this is your first time knitting, I wouldn't try to follow along right now. Just start with the purling because it'll be too hard to learn both things. So left to right through the loop, grab the yarn, pull it through. Questions? Where'd you guys go? Okay. So I'm just going to finish this row. Can you see what I'm doing? Charlie, am I in screen? Moderator, am I in screen?
Yep. Yep.
Oh, super awkward reaching around the screen like this. Okay. So I'm going to just basically, so the knit stitch makes these little V's, right? Sure. So these are all the knit stitches. You can see each one of these is a little loop with another loop coming out of it. And that's what makes those upside down V shapes. Now, if you turn the knitting around, the top of this loop pops out the back. Sometimes you want that to show. Like if you just use the knit stitch, it'll be this V on the way there, and on the back, when you turn it around, these little bumps will be on the other side. So I've been doing knit across and purling back to keep all the knitting on one side, all the purling on the other. So to do that, we are going to do a purl stitch, which is the opposite of knitting. So as I showed you, knitting is going through the stitch front to back, left to right. Oops. Okay, so knitting, you go from the left of the stitch to the right of the stitch, grab the yarn and pull it through. Now purling, instead of going this way, instead of going like that, we're going to go this way, right to left. And the yarn is no longer in the back of the needle, you hold it in the front of the needle. So hold the yarn. I'm standing on the yarn. Okay, there we go. Okay, that's better. Now, instead of going left to right, you're going to go right to left through the front of the yarn. You have the yarn here, and put it over, and use the point of the needle to slide it back through the other way. Sorry, my yarn got a little caught. There we go. So instead of knitting, you're going to go other way, yarn over the front, and you're going to pull it back through. Right to left through the front of the loop, over the needle, Use the point to pull the loop back through and slide it up. One more time, you ready? Right to left, slide the needle through the front. Wrap the yarn around. Use the point to pull it back through and off the needle. Okay. Let me see. Was anyone able to do it? Okay, raise your hand if you're having a problem. Okay, let me see, Molly. Show me what you're doing. Okay. Whoops, she just moved. Where'd she go?
I'm muted.
Molly just disappeared.
Am I here?
She's now spotlit. If you, here, let's see. Can you see her this way? Is that better?
No, she disappeared off my screen.
She should be the only thing you're seeing now.
Hold on. Speaker. There we go. I had to change it to speaker view. Okay.
Right.
Okay. I go like this way?
Yeah.
Okay.
Holding the yarn in the front of the work.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do
So
I
bring it
go
yeah.
around that way?
Yeah.
And then where do I go from there?
Then you're going to hold the yarn down. So it goes over the front and back down, make a full loop around it.
Okay.
And then you're going to, so it's held tight around the yarn. You're going to take the point of the needle, make sure that yarn stays on there, and you're going to pull that loop through the loop on the needle, or the other needle, and pull it off. There you go.
Nice job, Molly.
Yeah. Do you have, now that looks like you've got two loops on there. Did you pull just the new yarn or do you have the other yarn, the old loop on there?
I think I pulled the other yarn too.
Just slide it off the end of the needle, the old one, over the loop that you made so that the other yarn stays on the needle. Yep.
And then do I go under it?
Yep. Go under the other loop. Pull, use the needle to pull the yarn through. Do you have the old loop on there still, or is it off?
I think. I don't know.
Okay, here, let me do it one more time. Ready,
All right.
everyone? Okay, so hold loop. You're gonna stick this through. You're gonna wrap the yarn around. And then you're gonna use this point to pull the yarn through.
Can you scoot that over just a little bit to your right, Sam, because it's obscured by your name tag. There you go.
Okay, sorry. So through, wrap the yarn around, hold it down. And you see how it's around the needle? You're going to put this through the loop. And then that's the new yarn is the only thing on this right-handed needle. And then you're going to slide the other loop off the needle. So through. And slide it off. Around, use the point. I'm trying to think, do it this way. See how I'm pulling the yarn through the loop? There's wrapped it around. And pulling it through. So this is from the back, so you can see what I was doing. Right to left. Wrap the yarn around the point. Use the point to pull it through the loop. And then pull the whole thing off the needle. Does that help at all? Let me see. Let me see. There you go. You got it. Great. Okay. Now, is anyone else having an issue? Okay, Karen, let me see what you're doing. And then Heather.
I'm having trouble holding the yarn. How do you?
Oh, okay. So my trick for, are you holding the yarn in your left hand?
Yes.
Okay. So this is how I've learned to do it myself. This is my technique. You grab the yarn like this.
Yeah.
Hold it with only your middle finger. Wrap it around your middle finger twice. Then you grab the needle and you hold the tension with your index finger. So it's holding it in place, but this can be loose so you can use it to grab the yarn like that. And you kind of use that finger to wrap it. See?
You make it look so easy. I mean, I wrap it around and then
And the same for knitting. Like I just hold it taut. Because one of the important things about knitting is keeping the tension as uniform as you can. Otherwise, your knitting comes out like wobbly as opposed to nice and even. So you want to just tension, and holding it like this keeps the yarn at like sort of a equal tension as I go, because I can slide it, but if I want to hold it, it doesn't.
I usually knit with one needle under my arm and go put the thread around it.
You
So
knit
I'm learning this way, and it is looser. It's better, but it's difficult.
It's just a matter of like muscle memory, learning. Because when I first started, I did the same thing. I held the yarn in this hand, and it would be this, and I'd use the hand like, but because you're letting go of the needles every time, I had a really hard time keeping my tension even, and it took me so much longer because this.
It's quicker. That's true. It's quicker when you know how.
Right. I had to, it's sort of like, learning to bat lefty. It's a new muscle skill set, but I found my knitting became much easier, and there wasn't as much of this because mostly I knit on airplanes, and I find the people next to me got really mad if every stitch I was hitting them with my elbow. So I learned how to just do this, and then really it's just my wrists. I go like this. You can kind of keep it all in your lap as opposed to, churning the butter every time.
Would chicken wings also be appropriate? Is a chicken wing move?
I had to go every time, and so it was not only hitting them with my elbow, but also the noise. They didn't like it. I thought it was cute, but Heather, you were also having an issue.
Yeah, I'm a lefty, so this is kind of weird for me.
Got it. Yeah, you're learning to bat righty.
Yeah,
I am sure
that's most
that
of my life.
lefty. If I were you, because this hand could be cut off and I wouldn't notice.
Okay.
I'm not lefty at all. So there might be like a YouTube video on how to switch these things.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
That's
Have
okay.
you considered watching this entire thing in a mirror?
You know what?
That's an option.
I could just do it like this. Look. This is what it would look like if you were lefty.
Oh. Oh no, that's true. That's right. Because for
That is
you,
true.
that's the perspective. For the other person, that would be the perspective.
Yeah.
Right.
So left to right, put it through the front of the needle.
I think I made my stitches a little too tight here.
That is a common issue because you always think it's going to be too loose and they're just going to fall off. You're better off with too loose than too tight.
Oh, so it's just.
So when you're done with an item, you do something called blocking, where you soak it in water and then you lay it out on a towel and you pin it down to the shape you want it. And when you're doing that, if your knitting is too loose, you can always kind of stretch it into shape. And even like if you give it a little gentle tug, it'll kind of loosen it and even out all the stitches.
Yeah, because I got a little bubbling here.
Because it's so tight. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's also because you have 3 million stitches on that needle.
Yeah, I didn't start out this big.
So
It just ended up this way.
You've been doing what we lovingly call a yarn over. So what that
Probably.
is that when you're doing your stitch, you accidentally put another loop of yarn over the needle. And then when you knit your next stitch, you don't notice. And now you've got 3 stitches where there really should have been 2.
Yeah, I'm a crocheter, so this is kind of,
Yes, it's very different. Everything's knit and crochet go, they're completely different. I like to crochet as edgings and to join pieces together. Sometimes I'll do like a crochet seam. I cannot crochet something square. If I'm
no.
supposed to make it even, it goes like,
I've got 2 blankets here that are not even.
okay, so even as a crocheter, you can sometimes go, look at, see, Maureen's showing off now. She can crochet. Very nice. It uses a lot more yarn, I find, because you're doing so many knots. Look at, that's a good beanie. But I like it because crochet goes faster. It's somehow you like you can make a hat in an hour and a half, where a knitted hat can take 4. Okay, so there you go. Ooh. Okay, Ray, how you doing there? On a scale of 1 to 10, how are you doing? Oops.
So for me, it honestly, I have to watch like what you're doing, I think, over and over and over again for me to be like, okay. Like I was watching the YouTube video over and over until I finally got like casting on, and then like started knitting, and I was like, okay. Like, because I kept getting, when I was casting for 1, I kept getting 3 instead of 2.
Okay.
And like I was doing like 1 like technique, and where you're doing like the thumb thing, and I kept doing 2 instead of 3, and it was driving me crazy until it finally clicked, and I was like,
Yeah.
so, but yeah.
Muscle memory thing is like learning a sport. Like I cannot learn choreography. I was an athlete. I could do hurdles. I did triple jump. I did softball, soccer, all that stuff. Fine. Like I could get the coordination. You put me in a dance studio and I will hurt someone because I will go the wrong way and then I'll twist my ankle and knock everybody down. Somehow it just, and this is sort of like that. It's like, it's a dance move with your hands.
Yeah. Thanks.
All right, well, let me see. Are you learning? Do you have any idea how's your knit stitch? Did you get a knit stitch down?
For me,
Yeah.
I'm still practicing that.
Okay. What do you have on? Let me see.
Well, this, I mean, I started over for today. Like I
Okay.
started fresh. So, so I was like, I knew we were going to do something new. So I'm just trying to follow along with what we're doing, but I most likely will have to go back to the YouTube video to start over.
No problem. Should I demonstrate a purl stitch again for everybody?
Okay.
All right, so. That's better? That's better. All right, so. New stitch needle, old stitch needle. Right to left through the front of the stitch. The yarn in your hand goes from bottom to top, over and around, holding it down. Now you're going to use the point of this needle to bring that piece of yarn through the stitch that's on here. You're bringing it through. Can you see that? It goes through the stitch. And then just make sure it's on there. And then you pull the stitch that you just went through off the needle. So now from the front, you've made a knit stitch. From the back, you've made a purl stitch. It's basically just, I think I did this last time. Essentially, every stitch is this. This is a knit stitch. It's a loop like this. When you do a knit stitch, you're pulling yarn through to make another one. And then the next row will be another loop through to make another one. Now, this loop, the knit stitch loop, when you pull another loop through it, the top of this loop is still there. You just don't see it, but it's on the back. See, it's a bump. That is called a purl stitch. The back of a knit stitch is called a purl stitch. So here's knit in large format, so you can see it. Does that make sense? Knit, purl. That's all it is. So you're just using your needle to pull a new loop through the loop that was on the needle before. You're just doing rows of loops and you're using the needle to hold them there so they don't come undone. Because if you let this loop go, because it's just a series of loops, it'll run all the way down. No more stitches.
Hey, Sam.
I'll be sad. Yes, Charlie.
Ariel asks, so my issue is sometimes I get on autopilot and I get interrupted, and then I'm not sure if I drop the stitch off and then my next row is a stitch longer than the previous. How can I tell what it's supposed to look like?
Every few rows I count my stitches to make sure. And if you see that these lines aren't straight, if it starts to V out a little bit, it means you added a stitch in there. And what the fix for that is either knitting or purling. You just stitch two together. So instead of going through one loop here, you go through two loops here. Like that. You go through, oops. Sorry, my yarn got a little fuzzy and so it's catching edges. So you see how I've gone through one loop and then you pick up a second loop and then you just purl them together. You do the same thing if you were knitting. You just go through, instead of just the first loop, you go through two loops and knit them together, and then you're back down to the right number. Now, if you've dropped a stitch, if you're short, you really have to look, because as I said, that whatever stitch you dropped will unravel. Now, you don't have to, you can rip it out and put everything back on the needle, or you can take a little piece of yarn, find the loop that's loose and tie it. Just literally take the yarn, go through the loop, through the stitch next to it, through the loop, and tie it at the back. And you can fix it later. You can sew it tighter, you can, find a way. The object isn't perfection, so if it has a little thing, do something cute. Make the knot that you tied it with orange or something, a different color, like they do in the Japanese art, where when something is imperfect, they highlight the imperfection with, like, if something breaks, they put it together with gold or something so you can see.
Kintsugi.
That's the one. Thank you.
Yep. Lori had a quick question too about stitches and dropping stitches.
I think you may have just answered it. I said if you drop a stitch, can it be fixed?
It can, just like I said, or if you are a perfectionist and you want it to be not dropped, I take a crochet hook. And so what would happen is, okay, look, so say I drop this stitch, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it goes, I know you're all like, you're doing it on purpose. Yeah, that's okay. So here I go, oh God. So now I've been knitting away and I discover that down here, I've dropped a stitch. Oh no, oh no. So what you can do is whatever one is closest, put it back on the other needle. And then I just usually take a crochet hook and pull the loops through. So here's an open loop. And here's the stitches that fell off. So you have this loop, and remember, it's just loops through. So you take the next row, pull it through. It's like hand knitting. So now fix that one. Here's the loop that fell off. I'm going to push it through this loop. There it is. And I'll just stick it back on the needles and carry on. Could you see what I did? Okay. You could technically knit with your hands if you had some way to hold all the needles. I mean, all the loops. If you had, extra fingers. There you go. I think people do hand knitting like that. They use really fat yarn and they do it on their arm. Like, that seems like a workout to me. But you make those really cool, like, weighted style blankets. Like, each stitch is like this big. It's really neat. I have not done that yet. This is about as big as the needles get for me. I'm making something right now. I'll show you. I was stuck. I was just in Wales for a convention and my trip home was 2 days. So I made these. They're little, a lot of times I'll do them on circular needles, but these I did just on 2 flat needles. They are wrist warmers. I'm almost done. I just have to do one more band of brown and I'm going to cast off. And then I'm going to make them into a tube. I'll sew the seam up the side. And I like to do 2 at a time so that when I'm changing colors, changing size, putting the thumb holes, anything like that, I can do them without having to write down what I've been doing and making a pattern. I can be like, oh, sometimes I'll be like, I'm going to put a row of red and I don't have to count where because I'll just do the same thing on both at the same time. You can't really do that on circular needles. You can only do 1 at a time. Maybe like 7 lessons from now, I'll show you how to do, so this is a single pointed needle. It has a stopper at the end. They have double pointed, which is how you knit in a circle, unless you use the plastic ones. I don't like those though. So, I mean, the ones with the cord, you've seen those, right? Do some of you have those with 2 needles with the, yeah, there you go. So you can, some people just use those as regular needles with this, with the plastic cord between the 2 points. Not even circling it around. I like to use double pointed, but if you use 2 really long double pointed needles back to back, you can knit 2 things at once. And I have 4 strands of yarn because there's 2 for this guy and 2 for this guy. So this is something we can get to one day. Because once you get it's like skiing or snowboarding. Once you get the basic movement, you start to understand all the other stuff. But so once you get the knitting down, you can do anything. It's just counting. That's all it is. So yeah, so this is what I've been doing. We can talk about how to change colors, all of that. But these are my normal size needles. Okay, that was a little aside. Any questions?
Yeah, we've got Megan Marcus just asked, what kind of needles would you recommend for beginners?
I would recommend wooden needles for beginners because the metal needles are great because the yarn slides on and off really easy and you can knit really fast. But as a beginner, one of the biggest problems is dropping stitches, having them slide off the needles. And wood gives you a little more control. And I would not use a yarn even as fuzzy as this. I'd use a nice worsted type, like something that's cotton is okay, just nothing too fuzzy because you get a lot of it's hard to get the yarn cleanly through the wool. So the needle cleanly through the wool. So I would use wood needles and some kind of the smoothest yarn you can. And make sure on the label of the yarn, a reminder, there'll be a little X made of needles and it will say what size needles that yarn is made for. So you coordinate them because you don't want to use really fat yarn on skinny needles or skinny yarn on fat needles. It won't look right. You'll have either like really tight stitches or giant holes in your loops.
Front row, do you have any questions too? We're going to be wrapping up in just a little bit here. Let's see.
I love the concentration. They're all like,
I know that everybody's like diligently in there. I see Tracy's like right. I can see right up there. Okay, Susan is.
love your yarn, Tracy. It's really pretty.
Yeah.
Hi. I have a really quick question. The definitely not stakes that you're knitting
Yes.
on right now, what size are they?
I believe they're 10, I think. Hold on.
Tens?
I can tell you. Hold on.
Do you have a knitting gauge, a needle gauge?
I sure do.
Well, I think Michelle from Stan's even watching. Like maybe Michelle can just
Oh, they're 13. So
pop it in there. Yeah, 13. That's right.
Do you guys want to see something crazy?
Do it. Oh.
yeah, I'm not there yet, but I'm almost there.
I made this computer.
So
So
Oh
I have
yes,
these.
you're on your way, Karen.
Oh, you don't even know. I stopped knitting in 2008, and the last class with you guys
Yeah.
reawakened my love, as you can tell, because I've been tagging you guys with all my projects
Totally.
on Twitter.
Keep going. Keep going.
I love-
But I decided to get the set of interchangeable circular needles because that's going to save me money in the long run.
Sure, they're metal, right? I have one of those.
No,
too.
no, these are wood.
Oh, I can't.
these
Oh,
are-
are they dark wood? How
Yeah,
beautiful.
here, let me pull them out.
Oh, they're really, really pretty.
Yeah, and this set costs like, it was $62 and it's US 4 through US 11, and they also do the size for the bulky yarn. So I've got these. These are the 17s, and that is what I knit this cowl on.
So
So
great.
that was that really pretty yarn that you had yarn envy over. And I loved it so much that I decided to do a second lace scarf on with that yarn. But this was the first one that I finished.
Well, you are not a beginner then. I see you
Well,
doing stuff.
I started my first knit after your class just to get back into it. I did just an easy knit 1 row purl,
Sure.
1 row scarf. And then I had started a blanket in 2008 that I abandoned. And when I took your class last time, I was like, I forgot how much I love knitting. And so I just did the easy thing first. And then I found an really super easy lace pattern. And I can't tell you how many times I ripped that before I finally finished it.
So much happy. I know. I have books and books of patterns, and they're once you get the pattern down, but like what I do is I Xerox the page because I don't want to carry the book around. So I just Xerox the page and carry the pattern. So here, to answer your question before I forget, these are US 13. Size 13.
Got
And
it.
that's a
Yep.
good size. These are
speaking
the
of which-
double pointed that I was talking about.
Oh, those are cool.
Yeah.
Michelle's asking me to say a word I promised myself I wouldn't say, but I'm going to say it because it's for whatever for this. Would you make Michelle from Stans a whoopee?
I
No
definitely
one knows what
will,
that means, Michelle.
but I need to know what a whoopee is to make one.
Yeah, exactly. See, no one knows what that means. Thank you.
Do you want a blankie? I would for a blankie. Is a whoopee a blankie?
Yeah. A blankie makes sense. The word whoopee is an abomination. All right.
I think whoopee is like a comfort blanket, I think.
It is. That's exactly what it is. If you used the wrong word and made it sound awful. Yes.
Please send me dimensions and color choice and fabric.
Oh, okay. No, we don't know what whoopies are, Nancy. How dare you, first of all. Also, Mr. Mom, let's not invoke Mr. Mom. Let's not do that today, that violence. All right. We are coming to an end. We have time for like one more question, but I wanted to say 2 things. One, we'd love to see your stuff on social media. So please post and tag Momentus and Sam so we can see your progress. We want to see how you're doing, how you're progressing. If you have questions, you know what I mean? And Karen, you sending over work in progress stuff, please, like, we love seeing it. When we just had a baking class, my entire feed was filled with chocolate tarts. It was the best day, just chocolate everywhere. Please tag Momentus and Sam and just keep it going. The second thing is Sam and I just talked right before the class, and there is a next step to this. There is a next leveling up of this after practicing from class 1 and 2. So we are putting up class 3 right now. If you check the chat, and for 1 week, we're going to offer $5 off. So it's like 20% off general admission for 1 week. Part 3, electric boogaloo, that doesn't work. Knit-witting part 3. I'm not going to do that. Well, really good at selling stuff.
Off, but
Yeah.
here's the other thing. Tag me and let me know what you want to learn.
Yeah, exactly. So
Casting off is probably the next natural thing. How to get the yarn off the needle. It's helpful.
So Charlie,
Yeah.
people who used the tomwoolery code previously cannot use it
Yeah.
again for the third one. They said it's already been used. So we might
we
have
can
to.
actually debug that right now.
All
Just
right,
hold-
let's do that.
Just you all hold your horses just 1 golden second. Tomwoolery is going to work real quick. Please hold.
Maureen,
I'm
I
gonna
want to see you work online.
What's
Oh.
that?
I'm telling Maureen, she's starting. I love the smile. I want to see your work. Okay. You got this.
I promise
right.
I'll practice for next time and hopefully maybe get better so I can do as good as my crochet.
Got it. I know you do. I mean, the classes will be online, so you can hopefully.
Yep. And we'll send you part 2 next week. The code should now work. If you want to just go ahead, support will be open also if you email support with any issues from now until the end of the promotion. So it's for 1 week to get you right back in here for part 3. We're going to learn, you said casting
Off.
Casting off. Great.
Casting on.
Right. I know what the difference is between those two. Yep. Well, great. So any other we have time for one more question, then we'll be moving on to our meet and greet. If you are part of the meet and greet, please stay right here. And then we'll finish in just a moment. Any other? Yeah.
Okay, so I should stay.
You should stay.
Okay.
Was that not clear, Sam? Was I not clear that you should stay? You always stay. Oh, Jen actually said, can we learn wrist warmers next time? Can we start those wrist warmers that you wear at all the cons and on set and all the time? I think people are kind of interested in that.
For sure.
Awesome. Great. So yeah, maybe that will be part of it. We can cast off. We can warm wrists.
Warmer. To make the thumb holes, you have to cast off and cast back on.
All right. We're all working toward a project then. So yeah, maybe we can send that pattern and start working on that process for round 3. It's a teaser. It's a teaser for part 3. All right, everybody.
I want to see colors. I want to have yarn envy. Let me see what you're doing online. I get it all. And I love the stripes. Tracy,
Yes.
I love it. I love it. Everybody, Erica, you too.
Kelly, are you picking your teeth right now, Kelly? Is that what you're doing? Okay, yeah, that didn't look like you were picking your teeth at all. I like catching people when they're least expected.
Yep, they're online.
They're like, oh yeah, I'm not picking my nose. I'm waking myself up. Yep. Alana, our surprise winner. Did you do everything properly? Did you knit, purl?
I'm so excited. I learned how to purl. I crocheted for years and I taught myself to knit, but I could never pick up purling. So I'm like super excited now.
Yay.
Excellent. Well done, Alana.
Thank you.
Nice work.
Yay. All right. So if we're going to move on to our meet and greet. So if you've purchased the meet and greet, please remain here. If you have not purchased the meet and greet, if you could walk to the exits closest to you at the fore and aft of the cabin, as we've said in the past. We appreciate you being here and thank you so much for coming down. We'll send you the video. Don't forget the code is Tom Woolery, not Chuck Woolery because he's kind of garbage. Tom Woolery, and you'll get $5 off. It's good for 1 week. So if you join right away, get that discount. Come on back. It's good for also for any of the ticket options. So get on out there and keep knitting and purling and all those words that I know how to say and use properly.
Thank you, Charlie. Thank you, Tanisa. Thank you, everyone, for coming. Thank you,
All
Chris.
right.
I love doing this, so thank you for showing up.
So cool to watch. I'm in awe of all of you. Thank you, Tanisa. Have a great day. We're going to let Tanisa go off to the rest of her Saturday. Enjoy your Saturday. All right. So let's see. Well, we'll just take a quick moment here just to get everybody situated here for our meet and greet. In the meantime, I know all the words, Mo. Yes, me, words, the best words, obviously. All right. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Also, just a little shout out as we're exiting too. We have an ASL class coming up with Queer ASL. I took a class from them for 8 or 12 weeks. And I have to say, I learned more about, ASL is an important thing to learn, but it's also a doorway into a culture. A culture of people and a group of people. So highly recommend them. They are queer deaf teachers. So they are the people we should be learning from. And it also supports a really great organization here in San Francisco, which is a great resource center for deaf queer people. So come on down for that. And then we'll just, Maud, we'll just unmute everybody too, just to make it easy and you don't have to worry about it. Hi, Stacy. Hi, Jennifer McNeil. Good to see you all again. Erica, Cheryl, Susan, great. All right, let's everybody gets going here. All right. We'll just do a round robin. I'll just call on people if that's all right, and we'll just that way we can just get to each person and make sure we have time and spend the time that we need. All right, let's start. I'm just going to go across by whoever's first here. My computer is being.
This shirt was a gift from Stan's.
Was it? That's awesome. All right. So,
okay.
Erica. Hi, Erica. Hi, Erica's daughter.
Hello, her name is Olivia. Yes.
Hi, Olivia. Hi. I hear you're the knitter in the family, not your mom.
She wanted to show Sam what she's been working on. Here, show her.
Yeah, if you're wondering what happened to the yarn, my dog got to it. He chewed it up.
She's been making this bracelet she wanted to show you. So this is more of a Olivia wants to show Sam what she's been up to, kind of.
Yeah, what is that going to be?
It's gonna be a bracelet.
Oh, nice. I love the color.
Thank you.
Yeah, she does it to calm her in school.
Yeah.
And after. So.
Knitting helps my anxiety as well, because it's it turns out I might have ADD as well, and mine manifests not in like hyperactivity, like jumping around, but like fidgeting, and the knitting like channels all the energy through it, and then my brain can calm down.
Yep.
Exactly.
Here.
Very
Awesome.
nice.
Thank
Good
you.
to have you guys again. Thanks for coming back. Hi, Cheryl.
Hi, Cheryl.
Hi, Sam. I teasingly asked you if you were going to teach us how to knit with chainsaws.
I could. I'm not sure how well that would go, but we could try.
But I guess that's what were you using a chainsaw on? I mean, sorry, everyone, this was on Instagram, but it was a great photo, but.
Thank you. I love my chainsaw. I was cutting down some dead branches, and then also there were railroad ties around the base of the garden, and we only moved in like a year ago, and last year I didn't deal with the outside at all. I was doing stuff on the inside, so there was a piece missing, so I found some old railroad ties in the back, but it was too long, so I cut through it and shoved it in there. It's very satisfying.
Charlie, maybe that's another experience we could get chainsaw with Sam.
Cheryl, why do you hate me so much?
No. It's a different experience. I mean,
sure. Cheryl, you troublemaker. I swear to God.
Any legal documents for that?
You're out there with goats. Why not be out there with a chainsaw?
Goats and chainsaws are not the same thing, Cheryl. Let's just get this straight. Oh my God. Morgan, save us. Hi, Morgan.
Hello.
How's it going? Are you knitting? Or are you just visiting?
I'm just visiting. I completely forgot to grab any knitting tools. I feel so bad.
Now, well, the good news is Charlie is so organized. You can go back and watch the lesson.
I definitely will.
In your own time with rewinding and stuff.
Super organized.
Yeah. Where are you, Morgan? It looks so sunny and warm.
Rockford, Illinois.
Is it sunny and warm, or?
Yeah, it's pretty warm here.
It is pouring rain here.
Oh gosh.
Pouring. My mom got snow yesterday in Vermont. Snow, or day before yesterday. It is mid-May.
That's crazy.
Angry.
Morgan, did you have any questions before we move on?
No, not really. It's really nice to meet you, though.
And you.
Thanks for coming over.
No problem.
Thank you for being here.
Ray. What's up?
Ray.
What's up, lady? What's up? Yes, well, again, so I'm practicing and I will get there. My I think my ADHD as well makes me take it a little bit longer. But I'm excited, especially about the arm warmers. I think that'll be really exciting to do. And I was like, I'm gonna like pre-practice before the next round. Do it that way.
It's actually easier to do on double pointed needles. Look intimidating if you have four double pointed needles. So you have stitches on 3 and then use the 4th one to go around. And it sounds really daunting, but for doing something like a sock or a wrist warmer, it's actually easier because then you don't have to make a seam. So I can show everyone how to do that next time, but otherwise you can do a seam that's not trying to hide, like you loop it with leather or something. You're like, not trying to hide it. This is the seam.
Right. Yes.
But I have probably 20 pairs of these things. I make them. The rest I've just given away. They're a great gift. They don't take that long.
Yes. You should sell them at conventions at your table.
Oh my God.
Or do a raffle or something. That might be an idea.
I could do, because I think that it would be a full-time job to make enough to have any sort of stock.
That's true. That's true. Raffle for charity, maybe.
Yeah, give away a pair.
Yes.
Nice to see you. Thank you for being here.
Good to see you.
Hi, Stacy.
Hi, Sam. Hey, Charlie. Thank you so much for doing these classes. I'm not sure if I'm built for this, but I'm going to keep practicing. It takes some getting used to.
It does, but what you'll find is you'll find your place. So if you watch a certain show every night, or like, it makes my husband crazy because I look down, he's like, you're not watching. I'm like, I am watching. I'm watching. I can hold it up and do both. I love doing it on planes. I love doing it if I'm the passenger in a car. It's harder to do while I'm driving.
Yeah. Don't do it while you're driving, please.
I used to drive around with my knitting in my lap, and I would knit at stoplights.
Oh my gosh.
Especially if I'm on like when I knit a baby blanket, I'm like, it's getting close. We gotta chop.
We here at Momentus do not recommend knitting and driving at the same time. Thank you very much. We do not condone or license the behavior of any kind or hear which by forge which. Thank you.
That's funny. This is my granddaughter, Autumn. We've been watching Supernatural together. We just got to the episode where Mary made the Winchester surprise. So
sorry. Never eat that. Well, I love that you're watching it. This is one of the things we talk about at conventions too, that we're on like 3rd generation watchers. You know, like the 1st generation had, then brought it to their kids, and those kids are now old enough to have had either their own kids or nephews and nieces and stuff. We have such a wide range of people who are even new to the show.
No, the show holds up. It's good. Did you want to say hi?
Hi. Hi. Thank you for watching. Have you been binging it? Like, have you been watching it slowly over time, or?
We do it when I get her from school. We have like a couple of hours each day before her mom picks her up. So we watch a couple of episodes each day. So we've done it through the whole school year. And nice. I think we'll probably binge it when school's out, and we'll just get that last season out of the way.
Autumn, does your mom watch it too?
Yeah.
They're behind us though. They're like in season 10 or something like that. So
they're like, Mary who? They don't know.
Mary who? Who's Mary?
Mary. Why is she so dirty all the time?
Good news is there's only 75 seasons, so you'll be there in no time.
Right?
Oh, okay. Hi, Jennifer.
Hi, guys. Where's your mom?
Over there. She was too scared to come on screen because she hasn't practiced knitting. That's what I say.
Oh, called out.
Okay.
Oh, I love that color.
I know, right? Whoops.
What are you gonna?
I twisted it around. It was just from
practicing, or
yeah, just practicing from the class. I pulled out whatever I had and keep going. Mine doesn't look as good. I don't know what happened.
It's just a learning curve. You'll get it. You'll get it.
Yeah, because initially you got the knit stitch first. You understood it before I did. So then that's why with the purl it's backwards. So that's why I got it.
Right there. Why can't one of you do all the knitting and one of you do the purling? Then you switch. You just, there you go.
Perfect.
Twice as fast. Consider it. I think it's a solution. Nice to see you.
Yeah, thanks
Good
for
to
coming
see
back out.
you.
See your faces. Hey, Susan.
Hi,
How's it going, Susan?
it's okay. Can you hear me?
I sure can.
Oh, okay. I'm so confused about the whole purling thing. I've done knitting before, but I don't get the purls. Like my brain won't work backwards.
Okay.
But I was gonna ask, what do you hear about this supposed like new supernatural idea that I guess Jensen maybe put together or something? There's a lot of it on social media, so I'm kind of like, yeah, I don't really believe it, but
A new supernatural idea?
yeah, like, well, it would be like another almost full season. And I thought, well, that doesn't make any sense.
That is news to me.
Okay.
Sounds great. I don't know. Did Jensen say it or people are
No.
saying
It's just people are saying it, and people have said that he was talking about it, but it's always like a source reportedly close to the actor. You know what I mean? So I'm
Right.
like, okay, but I don't have anything to ask about knitting because I'm like confused.
Oh, we'll just go back and watch. And then tag me on social if you have questions. But as far as the show goes, I have a feeling, there have been rumors of reboots and
Mm-hmm.
and all that since the show was announced as being canceled. So
Yeah.
I don't know, and I don't usually pay any attention until they call me and say, "Do you want to come to set?"
Oh, sure.
But that would be great. I feel like there's room for some kind of. Then people miss the characters, and I miss the characters. I don't know. I mean, Mary was pretty obliterated at the end of the show. So.
Yeah.
She's in heaven, right? Mary's in heaven.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. So sorry, but while you were doing your knitting practice, I was actually training my service dog.
Oh, I think I saw a little puppy pop into screen. How's it
Oh
going?
yeah, she's actually my old service dog. She's a black lab and Great Dane mix, so she's not little. And then my new service dog is a yellow lab.
Oh, gotcha.
So they're doing really good.
I'm glad.
Awesome. Thanks, Susan. Thanks for coming out, even though knitting is not a first circle activity. Hey, Tina.
Hey. Hi.
How are ya?
Good. Hey, I wanted to tell you, Sam, that thank you very much for doing this, because I was never going to get to learn to knit because my grandmother died, and she was the one who was going to teach me to knit. And sorry, I wasn't going to get emotional, but I was never going to get to learn to knit because this was something between her and I. So thank you very much for that.
My grandmother taught me as well, and it's different than just going to a knitting store and having them teach you. You know what I mean?
I watched her knit growing up. I mean, she knitted us every year. We got a new sweater, we got a new hat and a scarf. She didn't do the real little things unless she was doing booties for a new baby, which people don't do that anymore. So I've still got all of them that she made. I was able to get my hands on. But granted, this for me is an accomplishment because I have Asperger's and my ADHD. I wore my children out. They did not wear me out. So this, to sit for long enough to do this or one of these, is amazing. So I thank you all for doing this. This is actually kind of fun. It's,
Hey.
I keep losing one. I keep losing a stitch and having to find it and get it back.
It's like a hunting voyage at the same time.
Yeah.
Scavenger hunt for your stitches. That's great. That's good.
I'm so glad. I'm so glad to see.
That's such a sweet story. The generational heirloom quality of teaching, I have to take stock of what I can teach my kids and what is uniquely was taught to me. I think it's so important,
Yes.
Magic.
Knitting seems to be one of those things that skips generations. So
Yeah.
my grandmother knit, my mom sewed. I do both because I'm
Yeah.
crafty. My sister does neither, maybe that's why. But my mom didn't knit, and so she couldn't have taught me. It's because she wouldn't, because my grandmother would, you know what I mean? So anyway, it is important to try to keep it running through the family, I think.
Totally. Hey, Molly.
Molly.
Hello.
Got any knitting or supernatural questions?
I'm going to my first convention in June. What's your favorite thing to do at conventions?
I
can answer. It's hanging out with me. It's hanging out with me at every time. Yeah.
Sarah, obviously. Is it a creation one or a non-creation?
Mhm.
Where is it?
Chicago, Rosemont.
That's always a good one. For me, honestly, it's like a slumber party. Like I get to see Kim and Ruthie and Brianna. Like I get to see all my friends, you know. And I see a lot of you guys who I know. Like I know you guys. I've seen you many times. A little bit, and it's always a little frenetic and really, you know, they keep us on a tight leash and keep us really busy. But I love seeing the joy in your faces because you guys all are so. It's like camp. It's supernatural camp is what the creation conventions are. You all know each other. It's like going back to summer camp every year and seeing your friends and you're like, well, you did. What'd you sign up for? Were you doing this? I do karaoke with DJ. And I have a ball. It's really fun. And now he started dressing up in outrageous costumes. And I'm gonna have to make a disco or something. Disco. I don't even know how to do that. But yeah, I love to like catch a dinner with my friends, and I love seeing you guys make new friendships. Somebody will show up alone, like not necessarily knowing anyone there. By the end of the first morning, they'll have a crew. It's great. It's great. And of course, you know, Sammy's with Sam is super fun. We laugh so hard. I don't know if you know what that is. So there's a special event where like Ruthie does tarot cards and Kim and Brianna do slumber party. I do something called Sammy's with Sam. Originally it was mornings with Mary, but no one wanted to get up at 8:30. So we switched it to sandwiches instead of bacon. I had bacon and coffee, and now it's peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. And we make sandwiches and we chat, and then I teach you how to stage punch. It's a lunch and punch. We all are laughing so hard by the end, but we get really good pictures, and people have done really, really well. A couple of you guys have done it at least once. I don't know. I think it's fun. So there's a lot of fun stuff to do.
Promise I'll get better. I promise.
Well, I have no doubt. And I'm sorry that I can't teach you lefty. I don't.
That's okay.
That breaks my brain, so I can imagine how it feels for you.
I think it doesn't help either that I'm doing a crochet stitch probably. But I'll get used to it.
Do you have any
Heather out there choosing violence with crocheting and lefty. Right.
No violence. No violence. Not the chainsaws.
It's true.
So.
Chainsaws prevent violence because I don't have to use an axe. I have an axe. I don't like it. It's very scary to me. Like it's heavy. It's not as accurate. A chainsaw, like, and you're done. You go exactly where you want it. See, axes, scary. Charlie's now panicking about that.
I love axes. What are you talking? A chainsaw is literally like, whoops, there's my leg. Like that's it. Like you're done. It's ugh.
Yeah.
Heather, did you have any important questions or any tidbits of information you wanted to hear from Sam before she murders all of us with an?
Besides axes and chainsaws, not really. No.
I mean, that's what you signed up for.
Well, I've never knitted before. I've started crocheting in December, so I'm not really good at that. But my brother called me the oldest young person he's ever met because I've been working on those two things. So
as a fellow,
he's not getting a blanket from me now.
That's right. I don't understand why it's considered an old person thing. I think it should be considered it's like a creative, useful thing rather than just like you're producing something. I think it's great. In
It's a way
between
to keep your hands busy.
making bread this morning, like I just like to do stuff, like create. Nothing wrong with it. Tell him he's old. That's what
He is old. He's older than me. So
Touche.
That's right.
Or as my youngest likes to say, before he understood what the word touche was, he would say cliche. And I'm like, I never wanted to correct him, never.
You can't.
Thanks, Heather. Hi, Karen.
Hi, Karen. Oops, unmute yourself, ma'am.
Okay.
There you are.
Hi, Sam. At the moment, I'm learning a Dutch sign language, and but I have no one to sign with. I don't know about anybody else who does that. And I'm also learning to count from 1 to 10 in a lot of different languages, just for the fun of it. I mean, I know 10 by now, I think. It's just a random scale. And I was wondering, what's your most random scale that you do and don't really have a use for yet, or never?
Question.
I'm so sorry.
Oh, I have so many random skills. Before I learned that it was sort of a function of ADHD, I became an expert, a mini expert in so many things. I can refinish concrete floors.
Okay. Okay. And I thought I was special with the counting to 10.
You can use acid stain and dye and refinish. I'm going to do my basement floor, actually. That is something I taught myself to do.
Okay.
That's pretty random, right?
Sorry?
That's pretty random.
That's pretty random, yeah. And one more question. Are you coming to Hawaii at the end of the year? Creation? Maybe?
If you invite me, I will go. You have to be, you mean creation, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they curate their lists. So right now, the only one I'm going to is San Francisco.
Okay.
If they invite me.
But it's the only convention I'm going to ever. So, sorry?
Are you in the Netherlands?
Yeah, I'm from the Netherlands. So it's a long walk to Hawaii.
Do you live in the Netherlands now?
Yeah.
So that is far.
Yeah, that's far. So it's so fun to be with all of you. Because I'm all the way in the Netherlands. So it's evening over here.
Because I'm on the East Coast now. So for me, it's like 10 hours. So for you, it's almost 20 hours, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it is. So, so it's also the only convention I can probably go to because it's, like I said, a long walk to the US, and Hawaii is even further. So I'm really looking forward to it.
Hey, I
so I hope you can make it.
You're going to stay longer than just the weekend, right?
Yeah, I'm going to stay 2 weeks.
Amazing. Hawaii is magical.
Yeah, it's going to be so awesome.
And I
So
hope that I get to see there.
Yeah, that would be awesome. We end with the weekend with the Supernatural Convention. So we have Maui and Oahu first, and then the convention. And then we go back home.
Sweet. That's a great plan. Thank you.
So good luck with your basement.
Thank you.
Yeah, no more chainsaws though, please. Okay. Yep. Hi, Karen.
Hi. Hi again. So I just want to tell you that I absolutely adore Supernatural, and I'm so glad it went past 5 seasons. And I actually go to sleep watching that show every single night because I know the show so well. I don't have to watch it to visualize what's going on. Yeah, I can just go to sleep even with the screaming and everything else going on in the back. But I have a non-supernatural question for you. If there were any role in history that you wish you could do, what role would that be? Acting, musical, plays, whatever, theater, whatever.
Off the top of my head, there's 2. If I had to do a play, I feel like Antigone would be an amazing story. Just such one of the best characters and female characters in history. Acting, there are two. A recent one would be Lagatha on Vikings, because
Oh, yeah.
I don't know anyone could do it better than Catherine Winnick. Holy mackerel. There's an old Robin Wright movie called Moll Flanders.
Oh, yeah.
I would love to play that role as she goes through time and different, like, it just was such an incredible role.
Jasper wants to say hi too, apparently.
Cats. Yeah, so, and I mean, anything, I mean, the general she played in Wonder Woman and stuff, but Moll Flanders just sticks with me as just a role that you get to play everything. You get to be like,
Yeah.
It's fantastic. So
That's awesome. And thank you so much for doing these knitting classes. It, like I said earlier, reawakened my love for the craft. And so I'm knitting my first hat on, I've never knit a beanie before, so I just did the increase row. And then I'm gonna start, it's a knit one through the back purl one to like 9 inches. So we'll see how this one comes out, but I've already frogged it like 4 times.
I love your
Yeah.
key tattoo.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Your key tattoo.
Oh, thanks. This is actually one of our friends passed away suddenly 2 years ago. He was an armorer on movie sets, and he used to wear a key. His name was Pyro John, and he passed away Mother's Day 2 years ago. My boyfriend actually went over there after his parents called. And so last year, his mom wanted to get her first tattoo. She wanted a key, and she wanted me to go with her. So I got the key done right here for John.
It's beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's a beautiful story to go with it.
Yeah, it makes me want to cry because he was so young.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay.
I know. Oh, you guys.
Okay, so hold on, before we end off, I want to do one thing. I'd like to do a group photo if everybody's okay with that. So if you want to turn your video back on, the people who've turned theirs off real quick. Morgan, hello. Yes, Susan, one more time. Just want to do a quick group photo because, you know, one of the things when I was first thinking about doing this was how this moment will never happen again, the way it just happened. And it's special. And like, just to take this moment in for a moment, I just want to take a quick photo of everybody. So I'll count to 3 and we'll take a quick photo to remember this little moment. Okay. All right. 1, 2, 3. Nailed it. Thank you all so much. What a fun class. You guys are awesome. And
Guys, I adore each and every one of you, and I'm so happy to see your faces. Thank you for being here.
so awesome. Thanks everybody, and have a great weekend. And yeah, use the discount code if you want to come for class 3. All right.